Alright guys, today I think we're going to embark on another adventure of OEM system recovery goodness with this wonderful Acer Aspire T180 machine running Windows Vista Home Basic. So I guess let's get this person's user account starting to log in and let's get into it. Okay, so here we are on the desktop of this machine. Now, as you can see, it's currently running the original Acer load of Windows Vista Home Basic 32-bit on an Athlon 64 single-core 3800 plus with 1 gig of RAM. 256 megs of the RAM are shared for the video memory, so it leaves 768 megs for the system. Not a lot, but for Vista Home Basic, it's fine as long as you keep DWM off. And a 160 gig hard drive. Now, this particular unit does have the Acer eRecovery Management utility here, and we can go ahead and launch it. Now, unfortunately, I cannot do a direct recovery from this utility here. It says restore system to factory default. Currently, it's got a password on it, and so, yeah, I can't really get into it, unfortunately. But what I'm gonna do today, if it lets me, is I'm gonna try creating this factory default disk. Now, what this is going to want me to do is put in one blank DVD, which I do have a blank DVD here. So I'm going to try putting this in the drive, and I'll see if we can burn it. And if we can, then that'll be excellent. And then I will just do a, and then I will just do a factory restore over the DVD. It'll be slow, but it should be faster than doing 6 blank CDs and having to disk swap like crazy. As per ISO 9660 regulations, the first bootable DVD produced by eRecovery will have a maximum size of 4 gigabytes. Yeah, probably because of the file system limitations. All right, let's press next, and let's see if it works. Looks like the disk burn at least was successful. So hopefully this verification process doesn't take too terribly long. And then I think we can get in with this and get this recovery up and rolling. All right, and just like that, backup image was successfully burned onto the disk. So let's see if when we go to restart, if this works. Time to find out. Well, after this commercial break, that's definitely going to pop up, definitely. All right, let's see if this works. Well, so far so good. Loading RAM disk. Wait a minute. Is this loading a Windows XP setup sort of thing? Because it basically looks like this is the boot up process for Windows PE from the XP days. Yep, that sure looks like the Windows XP bootloader. Please select the language in which to see the instructions. Well, I'm going to obviously pick English. Restore to factory default. Notice when reinstalling, all data in C drive will be overwritten. Recovery will require plenty of power, so please plug in your AC cord. Well, I mean, I would hope that it's plugged in, because otherwise I think that would be quite bad. If external hard drives are attached, detach them, click cancel to exit and restart the process. Well, I mean, sure, because that might screw with the drive letters, but I don't think that's a true limiting factor. You shouldn't have to like restart the whole thing, but I guess that's a useful piece of advice just in case it did, because you can't be too sure. All right, and off we go. It's just as simple as that. So I'm going to assume that this is on a DVD and that there's about 3 gigs of data, so it's probably going to be, I'm going to predict like 20 minutes. We'll see if I'm right. Anyways, time-lapse time. All right. Please wait a moment while copying files. I'm gonna have to start a new clip on my camera, so one moment, and then we shall resume. Okay, restore finished. Click OK to restart the computer. It ejected the DVD handily enough for me, so that'll be nice. Let me turn my speaker back on, and then we shall restart.
Power on.
I'll put the disc back in the drive, of course. And hopefully this works. Oh yeah, this is definitely RTM Windows Vista. Please wait a moment while Windows prepares to start for the first time. And of course, in modern Windows, this is where the installing drivers screen would appear on the Windows logo. This is essentially the same screen. It's just very primitive because this is Vista. And RTM Vista at that. And here we are, Windows Vista Home Basic, copyright 2006 from Microsoft Corporation and branded with Acer. Very nice, very nice. And as you can see, this is RTM because it does not mention any service packs underneath the Windows, or sorry, the Microsoft Software License Terms section. Type a username. I'm going to definitely provide one. And for the moment, I'm not going to put a password. There's no point. Should work for a back or a computer name. I think for this one, I like this color background the best. I have this set on my Acer Aspire 3050, something that's very similar to this, except it's just branded as Acer Aspire series, but very similar. Don't install updates because that's not working anymore. And all right, there we go. Ooh, good sound. That's real reassuring. Man, I wasn't expecting it to be that bad. Golly. And here we are at the desktop. Definitely a lot less bloat going on now than there was. Norton's internet security is out of date. Yeah, no sheesh. It's almost as if that's probably a copy from 2007. And the Windows sidebar is trying to come up. Hard drive is crunching away like crazy. Alright, and here we are, Windows Vista Home Basic with an app one. What even is this? I've never seen this before. And I hope this isn't copyrighted. That'd be really annoying. Aw. Dang it, the music ended. The sound is still good. I don't know why it's messing that up. That should not be the case. I don't know, maybe the CPU's just under that much load. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, again, single core, single thread processor here. Very high performance for Windows Vista Home Basic. And it's definitely got the RAM to prove that too, because, 768 megabytes of usable RAM. Welcome to Acer product registration. And it already stopped responding. Well, that's a great start. Oh god, no. Stop playing the music. We'll never share information without... Oh, turn that down. Holy crap, that is friggin' loud. Oh, it's installing more stuff. What's it trying to install now? Well, the sidebar opened. Oh, it's the cleanup phase. Oh, well, I probably shouldn't touch it then. Acer has pre-installed the free 90-day subscription of Norton Internet Security, the essential protection from viruses, hackers, online identity theft, and spyware. Click Start to launch the... Oh, excuse me, to launch the protection now. I just burped as I was reading that, so oops. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. Sounds like a bad idea. Alright, welcome to Acer product registration. Why should you register? Enhanced technical support, service alerts and upgrades, access to new service tools, exclusive online offers. To begin, answer this question. Are you a reseller? No. Oh yeah, we got the whole serial number and the shebang in there and everything. No thank you. I'm going to exit registration. Let's see if it pops up some other full screen window. Probably not. Now, what I'm curious to see is how bad the RAM load is compared to when we did this before. Because I think before I reset this, the RAM usage at idle was around 60 some odd percent. Wonder if that's the same here. Yeah, it's very close, about 58, 59%. Now, I mean, to be fair, this is with Desktop Window Manager enabled, you know, the DWM that was used for Windows Aero, but this has no Windows Aero. Why does the screen keep flashing like that? That's really annoying. So let's see. If I go in here and I turn that off, I would imagine that the RAM usage is going to go down quite considerably. Yeah, easily went down a couple of percentage points because it was at 62% when I had that window open, and now at idle, looking at about 57%. So a little couple percent does make quite a big difference when your usable amount of memory is not a lot to begin with. Anyways, so here we are, 768 megs of RAM once again, Athlon 64, 3800 plus at 2.4 gigahertz. With a surprisingly low Windows Experience Index of 3.0, but I guess for a computer like this, that's pretty typical, just because mainly the integrated graphics is the limiting factor here. Surprisingly, the hard drive is still doing quite well for its age, 5.6. I mean, this is just Windows Vista standard, so obviously running something else would be a little different, but even still, not bad from this whole thing. And surprisingly, Vista's not that slow. Using probably Windows XP era hardware or Windows XP grade hardware, it actually seems to run fine. Driver for the video is from April 6, 2007, although I believe these can take a newer driver in the 300 series, which is quite a bit better for sure. And of course, Acer software includes built-in file encryption and decryption, and there's a secure drive option if you really wanted to. It looks like Acer is doing the same stupid crap back then with this machine as well, where they split the hard drive in two unnecessary partitions for some reason. I don't know why they do this. It doesn't need to do it this way because it just overcomplicates things. So it's like, why not just remove this partition here and then just resize this one and make it span the entire size of the drive? I don't know. I've never understood that, but I guess it is what it is, so in any case. So we'll take a quick look in the start menu. I'm not going to dive into this stuff too terribly much, but needless to say, we do have Acer Assist, which is probably one of their built-in little remote desktop connection style utilities or whatever. Adobe Reader 7, Internet Explorer 7, and then we've got a couple of other things in here. Of course, all the Acer empowering technology stuff sits inside of here. That's this little floating Acer E thing that you see on the desktop here that was also on some Windows XP era machines. So as you can see, E performance management shows the amount of available physical memory in the computer, which in this case is very small because we don't exactly have a lot to begin with. We do have E mode management, which probably just changes the profiles on the system. I think as far as the, it's launching a full screen interface. Welcome to Acer eMode Management and the world of digital home entertainment. Before using Acer eMode Management, we recommend that you optimize your computer for multimedia. What the heck does optimize your computer for multimedia mean? All I know is that this interface is extremely slow. Like, unbelievably so. Your computer has been optimized for multimedia. That was really not that much at all. If I'm being honest here. So it looks like Acer's got their own style of Windows Media Center interface. That's what I'm guessing this is. All I know is that it runs like crap. Jeez, that's pretty bad. We're going to quit out of that. We got the e-recovery management, of course, and then there's e-data security management, which is where the file encryption and decryption stuff comes into play. It's not probably on the same level of something like, let's say, BitLocker. That would have been in Windows Vista Ultimate, but it's something better than nothing, so that's what I would say anyway. Interesting, we have a corrupted part of screen memory there. I don't know what that's about. Or, yeah, that is a corrupted part of screen memory. Oh, that's a nice Windows bug. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. So, Acer system, we have the user's guide there. Apparently, Cyberlink Power Producer. I believe this is like a Power ISO equivalent program. If anybody knows what Power ISO is. I actually don't know specifically. Whoops, I don't want to launch the help. I want to launch the actual program. Yeah, look, or actually no, in this case, this might just be a sort of lower tier video editor application from Power Director, because I don't believe at this time they had Power Director in a certain naming scheme, or maybe this was the predecessor to it. I'm not entirely sure. Let's go ahead and launch it here. I mean, I don't know how long this is going to really take, so I guess we'll find out here. Produce movie disc, write to disk. Oh, interesting. So you can just put video from your computer right onto a DVD. That's kind of cool, because this does have a DVD burner drive in it, as you saw in the beginning of the video. Disk utilities, open project, edit disk. It's interesting. Kind of an interesting utility, I guess. There's eSobi V2. These came with Acer computers from about the same time period. I never really figured out what this application is, per se. I'll open it up here real quick to show it. English United States is fine. It has a 90-day trial. You have to sign up for some kind of a membership. So I'm just going to go and launch the trial version here. I'm probably going to uninstall it after this. I believe this is some kind of sophisticated RSS feed reader. That's what I would assume that this is. And it's sold on a subscription model, or at least it was sold on a subscription model back in the day. It has a user interface that looks to have been updated to work pretty well with Windows Vista's user interface. Even in this basic theme, it actually looks pretty good. All the windows line up and look quite nice. So we'll go ahead and, okay, looks like it already quit. Now, since this is Vista Home Basic, it does have some of the games from Vista, the ones that you would probably care about the most. So Free Cell, Solitaire, Spider Solitaire, Minesweeper, Purple Place, and Hearts. This does not have Inkball like Vista Home Premium does, so there's a couple things missing. And you don't get Microsoft Tinker, because Tinker was a Vista Ultimate Extras game, and that was only on Vista Ultimate. Of course, you get the obligatory Norton Internet Security. You do get NTI Backup Now 4.7 and CD and DVD Maker 7. And really, that's about your lot. Otherwise, it's just your basic Windows Vista Home Basic install. RTM, no updates, very clean image otherwise. And it seems like the idle memory usage is not completely egregious, but, you know, given this amount of system memory that we've got here, it certainly could be a heck of a lot worse. In all honesty, it's not a slow computer with a clean install. It actually seems like it runs pretty well. And I know that Vista got a lot of crap from people saying it ran like garbage on their computer. And I can rightfully assume that from, number one, a laptop perspective, or number two, from a low RAM perspective. A lot of computers that were sold running Windows XP that were also marked as Vista capable oftentimes only had between 512 megabytes to 1 gigabyte of RAM. And even after Vista's launch, this was the case, that Vista basic computers that would have otherwise shipped with Windows XP Home Edition, and probably still had options to ship with Windows XP Home Edition, they still only had 512 megabytes of RAM. So it's not much different of an experience like this machine that you would have had with some of those other ones. And it was just, I can understand, because it was a not very good marketing tactic. It was kind of misleading that was Vista capable machines. And that would only mean that they're capable of Windows Vista Home Basic. That means this release here. If you had a machine that was Vista Premium ready, then that meant you could run Windows Aero out of the box, and that wasn't always guaranteed either, because those machines would need a minimum of 1 gigabyte of RAM. whereas the Home Basic machines could have anywhere between 512 to 1 gigabyte. So, you know, it is what it is anyways. I'm rambling at this point. Let's open up Windows Media Player. We could just check that out real quick. Of course, I don't have this thing connected to the internet, so it's not going to have any of the media information, which is probably fair enough. So yeah, just your typical sample music. Doesn't look like Acer added anything, and I'm not surprised by that. Lots of sample music when it comes to Windows Vista, though, that's for sure. But I think with that having been said, that pretty much wraps up this video on this machine. So, I don't know, I mean, I'll think about what I'm going to probably do with this thing. It would be cool to experiment with it and see if you could still use it in modern times. Obviously, you're probably going to have to upgrade the RAM, but aside from doing that, I actually legitimately wonder how well this machine would hold up in modern times, even with a modern operating system and a RAM upgrade. Probably not very well. It could be an interesting video thing that I could make, but at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, it really doesn't matter too much. So I'm going to get out of here, and just want to thank you all very much for coming to watch. If you liked what you saw, then you know what to press. If you didn't like it so much, well, then you also know what to press. Get subscribed down below. I've got another OEM recovery coming up here shortly, using a Windows XP machine. So, you know, obviously click the bell so you don't miss when I upload that. And with that having been said, I'm going to get out of here. So thank you all very much for coming to watch, and I'll catch you all in the next video.